Happy Halloween, blessed Samhain, and however else we may celebrate the turning of the year and the changing of the seasons, which you can actually feel today here in Houston, which is a rare treat. Enjoy your 3 days of fall. The ritual of welcoming and honoring ancestors is an ancient spiritual practice found in many cultures and traditions. And we find it here at Northwoods as well. Thus, we begin our service today, our ritual ceremony, with paying tribute and expressing gratitude to our ancestors. From our histories, our ancestors call to us, asking, whence we come and how and whither. We are grateful for their gifts, their lessons, and their challenge, calling us into accountability and responsibility to fulfill their hopes and aspirations for what they dreamed be ours to do. We call on and invoke our parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles, our siblings from across time and place to be here with us. And we call on the early Unitarians and Universalists, both lay people and ordained ministers who brought our faith tradition from New England and its roots to the wild and wide state of Texas, seeking new frontiers of living and new ways of being in community. We call on ancestors of Northwoods, this community, those who built, grew, and dreamed this church, this people into being. We call on those ancestors who represent the people of the woodlands, of Houston, of Texas, and those who came before, those who strove to build beloved community, diverse traditions and cultures, not forgetting the indigenous peoples of different tribes. And we call upon our activist ancestors, those who struggled for justice, for freedom and liberation, and who challenge us to honor the fullness of each and every human life. We especially lift up those who battled the racism and oppression right here in our own towns, which we know is still alive today. They ask us to join in the ongoing struggle to make this community whole. We call upon and honor the beauty of the earth, this particular part of creation, from the waters of the Gulf of Mexico to the woods of Sam Houston National Forest. The earth, too, is our ancestor. We call upon and honor our interconnectedness to nature and to the history of the land itself, our ancient ancestor. We have welcomed a great cloud of witnesses to join us. Can you feel them? I ask you to call to mind your own particular ancestors, your own cloud of witnesses, family roots, spiritual mentors, and guides for living. Some we have met, and some we only know through stories. Each one of us brings our own network of people and places with us today. We find what matters: family, home, belonging. Some we are born into, but often more precious are the home and the family that we build along the way. Into this shared space in our physical and digital sanctuary, I invite you to name your ancestors, those who you bring with you today. In the sanctuary, I invite you to speak out loud. And for those on Zoom, I invite you to type their names in the chat, and I will read them aloud here. Randy Prickett. Jennifer Lee Jones, Bill Briscoe, Spiros Bogdanos, Dave Rickard, Ross Donhauer, Bulbert and Mary and Bud Drake, Charlene and Joseph Madeira, Thomas Potter, Jackie Roscoe, Will Kennedy, Frank Chimeristi, William and Vera Sager, Kristen Adams, Robert and Ruth Smith, Barbara Bonte, Susan Tinsley, Earl Street, Patricia Brown, Bud and Jane Treadway, Mary and Michael Chimeristi, grandparents. Walter and Gladys Allen, Merle Hammond, Harry Hammond, Georgia Holt, Colbert Roscoe. May our ancestors guide us on our way. May they bless this space and time and the work of beloved community we undertake in their footsteps, and on behalf of those who are yet to come.